It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. Growing up, did you guys believe in urban legends? Like, obviously, things of the sort of saying Bloody Mary in front of the mirror 3 times. Did you believe in that shit? And did you ever do it?
Yeah, that book got banned at Joe Henderson.
Yeah, because Karen did it in the bathroom and like
it wasn't me. It was somebody else, but I was there when they did it. And
there's a Bloody Mary book?
It's from the Scary Stories.
Yeah, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, I didn't even know that is that where it derived from?
I think it's just in there.
It's
also.
a bit older than that.
Yeah, of course. But that's how we were introduced to it.
Did you ever do it?
No, fuck no.
Because I've gotten close to it just because my cousins would force me.
Well, I mean...
Say it twice and leave.
Oh, yeah. Say it twice.
No one would ever say it the third time.
No, yeah. And I remember, like, someone, they got sent home. They cried. The person that actually did it. And then the book got banned.
Holy shit. Did they get sent home? Or did they die?
No, they're very much alive today. Very much alive today.
It's just like, that's how they covered it up.
Yeah. She's the mayor of Benicia now. No, I remember like early on, my mom was always like, no, my mom doesn't like skeletons, like imagery, and she doesn't like any of that stuff. So she was always like, it's evil. Like, so I remember being as a little kid, being like, oh, okay, it's evil. So like, I just didn't even look into that stuff. And of course, as you know, I'm not a fan of scary things, so I wouldn't give a lot of thought to that stuff.
You just left it where it was. I mean, it's just that adrenaline rush of
of like
it's
not
awesome.
knowing and then trying to figure out, I guess.
Yeah.
I get that from like detective films.
Yeah, okay. Which is, in a sense, that's a little more scary because
I do want to get one thing out here real quick.
What?
I did not find this movie scary. I found it extremely sad.
And extremely stressful at the very least?
For sure stressful. Most movies are stressful. And there were like, and I'm not saying like the Babadook didn't look, I'm not saying he didn't look scary. He definitely looked scary and the jump scares were scary. I'm not saying that wasn't. But like as a whole, it's just a really, really, really sad movie.
Yeah. Well, the ending's actually a little more wholesome in comparison to the endings of
doesn't take her children.
Well, because she becomes a better mother at the end.
Yeah, she does. She faces her demons.
Yeah, yes. So. There's a lot of lessons that this movie serves as a metaphor for.
4-4?
Right. Yeah, as a metaphor for.
8.
What?
8.
Oh, 4. You're just adding 4 together? You're good at math, my friend. But yeah, and I think that the actors did a great job of bringing this stressful situation to the screen.
Watched a lot of kids and a lot of scary movies this month. This one's the worst.
In that sense, do you mean the best, actually? Because the way he's written,
he's
what kind of George Orwell thought crime was that?
No.
I think that he thinks he's not the best kid actor we saw, because we just watched The Devil Made Me Do It, and that kid actor
was horrible.
I have not seen
the little girl.
No, the boy that had the blood rain on him.
Yes. Okay, yes, I'm thinking of La Llorona. Another one with kids. That was really bad.
Okay, but in comparison to La Llorona, this kid Samuel,
he's good. He's very annoying.
Yeah, but that's how his character's written.
I'm not taking it. I get that.
Okay, no, I'm trying to understand.
I don't hate the boy. I don't hate the little boy.
What I'm trying to understand, are you saying that he's the worst in the sense of like the character is the worst because he's supposed to be an annoying boy, or is he the worst because you don't think his acting chops are like that good?
The first one.
Oh, okay, cool. Then okay, yeah. I'm on the same page with you. Let's welcome the baddies.
Oh, welcome, baddies.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of ICBTB podcast, also known as
It Cannot Be That Bad.
I've never heard it said that way because he's very proper today, but today's a special episode because we are joined by our girlfriends.
And actually, they've been begging us for a double date, so here you go. You're welcome.
There you go. And this is the cheapest double date that we could offer.
Got him.
We fucking killed it.
Fucking
there you go.
idiots.
We have alcohol in the mini fridge, and that's as good as it's going to get.
You want a bag of Fritos?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My mom will cook something later. It's out of her tab.
Sweet spaghetti?
Sweet spaghetti is the silliest sounding thing. You're putting a bad name on Filipino spaghetti.
I love sweet spaghetti.
It was really good.
Right? It
really
good.
Really good. I got a to-go
Only thing
box
I go to Jollibee
last
for.
week. Yeah.
Jollibee,
It was really good.
I like my mom's spaghetti better than Jollibee spaghetti.
hell yeah.
Same.
But that's like, Jollibee spaghetti is a good second place.
I'll tell you why Jollibee spaghetti makes me happy.
What?
It's the only fast food spaghetti that I know of. Why don't we have drive-through Italian places?
This is the 10th time I already
I
talked.
was just going to say, hasn't he
very
talked about
upset
this
about this.
before?
Always, but drive-through spaghetti, that's an actual
That should be a thing.
That's a shower thought that I would have.
Or you could go and get like a garlic bread meatball sub. You know,
I mean, you could get
a
that
slice
from
of lasagna.
fucking
Subway.
and just put like
Subway's not a drive-through. Although I have seen a couple
right.
Subway drive-throughs.
There's a few.
Yeah.
Well, before we get lost in this rabbit hole that is pasta to go,
That is pasta.
let's talk about this damn movie. This week we watched
Babadook.
Now, ladies, I have a question. Was the Babadook summoned because they said Duke, Duke, Duke 3 times?
Karen has a really crazy, mind-blowing theory, actually, and it's kind of made me rethink of how this film is.
Should we hear
I'd
the
love to
theory
hear
I
now?
know.
Yeah.
I feel like we should wait. We should wait till.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
don't forget.
okay.
We won't because it is.
You won't.
It is dope.
Do you want to know it?
I want to know it once we get into the movie.
Nice
Okay.
way to
Okay.
tease it at a girl.
There you go.
Teach her well. Anyway, so Karen's here. That one's mine. Melissa's there. That one's Christian's.
That one's mine.
And this is the skull. I don't know if you guys can see the skull today, but
We'll just lift it up and I'll show
it is Halloween.
camera.
That's our
There you
monkey
go.
skull.
Still Halloween, and I'm very stoked for this month still.
I think I've seen 31 Halloween horror.
You've seen a
films.
lot. I'm
so numb.
I'm scary movie deprived because of that one over there.
I've got enough to spare, my friend.
We've just been busy
Scary.
watching The Circle on Netflix, and
Honestly,
I want to
yeah. Okay,
get
The new
well,
in.
we
season?
wa-
The second season. We're
No.
catching up.
I only watched one season that was good.
The first season.
Was it the first one?
I don't know. What did you watch? We're asking you. What
I
did
don't
you
know. I
watch?
don't remember. Because there was one that was really bad. The one that came out during quarantine.
Oh, the
was
first
good.
season.
Yeah.
That was really good.
You want to say I never seen it?
Sammy's my girl.
No, that's my girl. Okay,
Yes.
Sammy Sweetheart?
Yes.
Same.
Yeah. I love Sammy.
Different show. Different reality show.
but yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. There's a
Yes.
lot to say about this movie. It's a shorter horror film, which I'm very happy about.
Doesn't feel like it though.
yeah, some
put
parts
a lot.
drag.
They put not even that it's drag. I know that sounds like I'm saying a bad thing, but what I'm trying to say is, it's got a lot.
Yeah.
In an hour and a half, you cover a lot of ground. Did I save myself enough?
No. That made sense completely. What did you guys think of its runtime? Hour and a half.
Good.
Perfect.
Well, every
I-
time. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like an hour and 30 minutes. Isn't that like a perfect length movie?
Perfect.
That's
In
what Alex always
my
says.
opinion.
Yeah. I was
Unless
just
it's a
about to say the same
superhero
thing.
film, then go.
I don't
for
need
4
2
hours.
hours of Ant-Man, bro.
But I could go with 4 hours of Justice League, dude.
I get, yeah, okay. You got me there. We watched The Babadook. It was released in the year 2014, and it actually is not rated.
What?
It doesn't have a rating in America.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no Rotten Tomatoes, no nothing.
Well,
like
I'm
that?
saying like on the MPAA scale.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, as in
Really?
like R.
Yeah. It has a runtime of 1 hour, 33 minutes, or as we have just discussed, 93 minutes. And it has a rating of 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. It has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 86% on Metacritic. That's actually really shocking for me because those last two ones are really, really high.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is.
98%?
It's good. It is good. Like not the best horror movie, but just as a movie or thriller in general, pretty fucking good.
This is Thriller.
Yeah.
Thriller Night.
Keep going until we get a copyright issue.
Ladies and gents of the jury, would you like to guess what the Google users?
I'm gonna go with 87%.
87%. Karen?
92.
92.
Melissa.
90.
Excellent. You're all wrong,
Okay, of course.
but we can flip Christian's numbers from 87 to 78, and then
It's
it would
that
be
low?
correct.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
78%.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
Snaps is coming at you.
right at you.
A single mother, plagued by the violent death of her husband, battles with her son's fears of a monster lurking in the house. But as soon as she discovers the sinister presence, all around her changes. Babadook. Duk, duk.
Very cute name for a very sinister creature.
Well, it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like an easy name that kids can say and that like kids like.
Like Momo. Remember Momo, the scary bird
Dude,
thing?
Momo randomly appears like because since I try to make like a lot of thumbnails for these horror movies of the past, like especially if I'm typing in Samara for the Ring thumbnails, fucking Momo just pops up out of the cuts and like it's 3 a.m. I'm like, dude, Momo's really scary.
There goes my nap for the
You
day.
can't unsee it. I
No.
just feel like I don't know. I remember when it first came out, and I was like scrolling through some random article, and then at the very end, it had like that thumbnail of Momo.
Yeah.
just because it like scarred hella kids.
Yeah, well, there's like a whole kid
So
thing going
many
on with
kids.
that. Yeah.
Kids are gross. It had a budget of $2 million. And $2 million, those are 2 million Australian dollars. You guys want to guess how much money it made?
I don't think it got like a great box office release. I think this probably just followed after the fact. Probably, I'm gonna say 250 mil. I'm gonna say it made some money, but not an incredible amount.
Ladies?
I have no idea.
Lady?
100. You said 250 mil?
Yeah, well, its budget was 200 mil.
20 million.
20
Or,
mil,
I'm sorry,
I-
no, 2 million. 2 million.
Holy shit!
Two
I was
single
like,
million.
wait, 250
single
mil.
million.
Maybe
2 million.
like maybe they made
10
like 50
million.
mil.
Okay, 50,
don't know,
10.
is that a
Karen's
lot?
taking a vow. All right, it made $10.3 million.
I was pretty close to that. I'll take the trophy.
Yeah, against a $2 million budget, that's really good.
I'd say that's successful.
That's what horror films do, man. They're cheap to make, but great to say.
Yeah. To say. I was about to let that slide, but it's cool. It's cool. I'll
Almost.
continue to let it slide. How does this movie start? Because I watched this last week with y'all, and I've had a good amount of alcohol since, so I don't remember. Actually, I was sipping on some while we were watching this, so like,
How does
Yeah.
it start?
I fell asleep.
All right.
Did you fall asleep
It
at the
actually-
beginning?
No, I fell asleep from having so much alcohol the movie prior to.
That's called passing out.
Yes.
I was so groggy. But anyway.
It starts off first with her having like a flashback of the car crash,
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course.
and then she falls into the bed from like above, which is a
cool
great
shot.
Yeah, that's
Great shot. And I think they show that because they want to show us what the root cause of this situation that she's put herself in is. And it's does it say who was in the car? It doesn't flesh out quite as fast who the car is.
You see Oscar. She like looks at him for a second, and
Yeah.
then there's glass everywhere and she's falling, and then she lands in her bed. And then that son of a bitch starts screaming at her from like 7 a.m. This motherfucker screaming at her.
Does he say mommy or mother?
Mom.
There was no food in the fridge.
Yo, this kid, he's okay. Who do you rather have as a kid? This kid or Aiden from The Ring?
Aiden.
Aiden, 100%.
Aiden's super punctual.
Because
It's a
Aiden's
little creepy.
Sufficient. It's still creepy. They're both very creepy.
Yeah.
But at least Aiden like can handle his shit.
I appreciate the heart of Samuel. That guy has a backpack that's a catapult, and
Oh my
wow.
God, yes.
So this kid has the brain of a young Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes.
And has been building multiple styles of weapons that we see work multiple times.
He has a crossbow junior.
Yeah, he built
there.
a crossbow out of a dartboard.
Yes, really, really impressive.
This kid is going to grow up to be the best arms manufacturer ever. He's got a great future for him.
But his social skills down the drain, right?
Well, yeah, because it's on the spectrum.
Did they say that?
No, but
But
I
it's not-
mean, but
oh,
they
wow.
it's
Yeah.
implied, and that's why they have the meeting with the
headmaster.
teachers later.
That's right.
Yeah. So
And also, he's detrimented because she is so focused on the death of her late husband, and let's flesh it out a bit. She was on the way to the hospital because she was gonna give birth to Samuel, and that's
Yeah.
when the accident happened. And so now she is forever associating Samuel with the death of Oscar, which is, I think that's a pretty heavy thing to.
oh, he doesn't get like a birthday party or anything because she can't celebrate it like on the day. That's
He has to share it with that
Horrible.
bitch of a little girl who
oh,
lives.
that
His
bitch.
cousin.
His cousin. Oh, she's the worst. Everyone else has a dad except for you.
I've already got this. I've already got this door.
And she's such a bitch. And she's like, you can't be in my treehouse. And,
Yo,
she's like, and here's the thing. He has the most legit. This is the only part where I liked him. Because she comes up on the
They're jumping
treehouse.
all over the place.
Yeah, it's okay. The cousin jumps up to the treehouse and she's like, you can't be in here. And he's like, why not? I'm not hurting anybody. And it's like,
That's
yeah,
actually very mature of him. He was reasonable
Yeah,
with it.
leave him the fuck
He
alone.
was so reasonable in that he's like, I just want to be by myself. He didn't want to go to the birthday party in the first place.
No, okay. So
That's true.
Yeah,
Let's rewind a
see?
little bit.
I'm
That is
like,
true.
Yeah.
she wakes up after having a bad dream because she's so fixated on the death. She thinks about it every day. She can't
Yeah.
sleep. He can't sleep. He's acting up in school. She has this meeting with the headmaster, and she's just like, she's working at a really hard job with old people, and like the lady who runs that place hates her.
Yeah.
She's got a hard life, this one.
It's pretty rough.
And she lives in Australia.
Yo, I was thinking that it's pretty rough. Dude, They're cutthroat out there. They
I
don't
like-
give a fuck what they say in Australia, apparently.
Let alone the animals out there will eat you.
Yeah, kangaroo, put it in your pouch and just bounce away.
Oh, my cousin kept taking them.
He died?
Yeah, we don't know what happened.
Kidnapped by a kangaroo. But
Kangaroo napped.
yo, what was up with her coworker that was constantly kind of flirting with her?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
and
mean-
he was flirting with her. He came over and he brought her
flower,
flowers.
brought a model for the
and,
kid.
But she had no
She had no time for that.
desire,
Yeah.
and she's so sleep deprived. Like she's so tired. She's so exhausted. She's depressed. She's massively depressed. And that's what it is.
So was his existence just to emphasize the fact that she is presented with more romantic opportunities to get out of this emotional hole that she's in, that she still passes it up because of, she's not letting
Well,
it
because
go.
all she wants to
Yeah.
do is sleep. All she but she
yeah, I
can't
don't-
sleep.
I don't know if it's exactly like that. I think it's more of like a showing of that she has a normal life, but everything that's happening at her home has fucked. Like she just can't even think about it.
Yeah.
At one point when she's walking home and the neighbor's like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" She's just so.
Well, that's way later.
It's just so every single action of hers is so depressing, and it just
Yeah.
makes her fall deeper and deeper into that hole, right?
Yeah.
And the non-sleeping thing, I think, is what really fucks you up. So,
Yeah.
And the kid's not sleeping. She's trying to get him to sleep. She decides to read him a book. He gets to pick the book that night, right? Oh, this is after they go to the park with a shitty aunt, and he gets on top of the swing.
The aunt is so
Yeah.
shitty. She's
of
so
crap.
bad.
She's hella
Piece of
fucked up.
crap.
And then the kid's like standing on top of the swing. He's like, "Mom, look
at me.
Look at me!
Look at
Mom!
me,
Look
Ma!"
at me! Mom!
Melissa, were you stressed out from like minute 1 of this movie?
I think she was asleep at minute.
Hey, no, I do get very stressed out easily. So yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Who was more stressful, the mother or the son to you?
Ooh.
during different parts? Mainly I would say the son in the beginning, and then the mom towards the end.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
Karen has a good point
definitely.
of like about halfway through the film, they kind of switch roles.
It kind of
Yeah,
switches.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and I think like
Because I think the Babadook leaves his brain, goes to her.
and goes to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is this stuff? I don't know what to make of this. Because they don't flesh this out. The Babadook, apparently, its origin comes from a book called The Monster, and
Well, The Monster was a short film that the director had made.
it's a movie. Okay.
It's a real short film that the director had made, and it's essentially Baby Babadook. I was watching a couple videos on YouTube, and they show you can watch that whole thing because the short film's all on YouTube. But it's essentially this woman reads a book that's scary to the kid. The monster comes out of the book, and it's there. And it's a short film. That's it. There's nothing much to it. But her whole thing was like, well, I want to flesh it out more and really give story to it and a background and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And then that's what led to the creation. Jennifer Kent, I think, is the name of the director.
Yes, I think that's what it is. And I think that the Babadook is symbolism for specifically mother's despair, for just in general. And like this was specific to this mother's despair was taking care of a child alone and mourning the death of a late husband.
Yeah, for sure. She's rife with grief.
Yeah.
She's riddled by it, and I think me and Karen believe that that's what the Babadook is, what a manifestation of, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, and what I've read is that the Babadook is the mom. What's the mom's name?
Amelia.
Amelia.
Yeah.
Amelia
And
Bedelia.
and she has multiple personalities, and so she wrote the Babadook.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she.
This is your theory? This is not
Yes.
something that you
Well,
found online?
It's a kind of a-
I've read
A community
That's what
thread,
I thought, and then I looked it up, and that's what a lot of people think is that she wrote the Babadook, and just like when
or one
you
of
know,
her alter personalities.
one of her alter ones, because she has multiple, and so when the kid throws the firework on the ground,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Where did you get that?" And he's like, "You bought it from me online."
Oh, and
she
she
doesn't
just
remember.
She has
it was
no
someone
idea.
else that did it.
Yeah.
Also, like the book too, when she was reading it to him at night, and she was flipping through the pages and shit, it was empty. So
The last few
Oh,
pages,
the last
yeah.
few pages,
last
and
few
then
pages.
She's not done
I
writing
didn't
it.
even realize that
Yeah.
it was empty,
And that's why
then-
it changes
and
when
that's
it
why it
comes
changes
back.
when the book comes back.
So once the Babadook starts fucking with him, she rips it all up and throws it away, and then it comes back all fixed and glued together and shit.
And
because-
then there's more pages.
So that's why I was asking, like,
Wow.
Does the Babadook even exist
No.
supernaturally? It just exists
No.
within her as one of her personalities.
Yeah.
If this theory is correct, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Did you guys also notice when she goes to the cops and her hands are all covered in black stuff?
Yeah.
Ink for making the book?
Oh, I thought that
Was
was
it
from the
ink?
burning.
Oh, I also thought it was from their brain.
Yeah.
I'm just trying
No,
to...
I think you're
just
kind
want-
of onto something. Though.
Honestly, I didn't know where that was going. I was just trying to be part of the group. Just wanted to say something. I was very upset, by the way, and this has nothing really to do with the movie, but I was upset about how every hat and coat combination looks like the Babadook when you first look at it. And it's like, people are purposely hanging their hat on that coat rack like that. Like,
let's fuck with Amelia.
No, really, though, because no one hangs a jacket like this.
That's why I want to ban all coat racks from every house in
Really?
America.
I
no.
want a Corex so bad.
Well, get
And
one
when-
that looks less like a human,
No,
okay?
they none of them do. When you put a coat on a
scary.
coat rack, it's like it's facing the other way. It's like it goes straight down. So for all of these coat racks, they have to put the coat on like a hook, like on a hanger,
Yeah.
and then hang the hanger on the hook, and then put the hat over the hanger.
Because it looks like it has shoulders. That's right.
It's very.
You're right.
It's very propped up.
You're right. Okay, rules specifically with coat racks.
Coat rack.
Karen, if you get a coat rack in
rack
your
slash
apartment,
hangers.
do not put a hanger on that coat rack. Do not make it seem like there's going to be a floating entity there.
But that would be so
Don't
much
put a hat on
fun.
there.
Yeah,
So
don't.
much fun.
You know what? I was listening to one of the episodes the other day when you talked about how you watch the scary movie and then you like see it. You see Samara like in the shadows of your room.
Yeah, just like my
Okay.
imagination plays games on me.
So that doesn't really happen to me, but I do remember as a kid when I'd see like a chair, or if I'm like sleeping over at somebody's house and I look down the hallway, I don't really like recognize what the shape is. It's like, oh, that's the chair or something. Like you think it's
Yeah.
like a weird monster or something.
And what, that fucked with you for a while?
A little bit as a kid. I mean, I was telling Karen, I saw like I remember I was having a replay in my brain, and I saw like a shadow person one time when me and my brother were in the house alone. He was watching me, and I was in my room getting some toys, and then like a weird shadow came up with like a hat and stuff, and I like
Babadook.
turned around and looked. I turned around. It was a different kind of hat. It was a fedora though. It was a very specific type of hat. And I remember like running back to my brother and being like, "Were you just over there?" And he's like, "No. Why would I?" He's like, "I'm sitting here like with a blanket, and the cat on his lap and shit." And it's like,
Pretty creepy. I will say that the genius behind the Babadook is aligning itself with a children's book. Like it's that contrast.
but that's
of,
because that's what she did for writing.
Yeah, because did you?
who, Jennifer Kent?
So when
No, the mom.
the mom. So when
Oh,
the mom,
oh,
is, so when the mom is with all those other stupid bitches
shitty-
of moms. Oh my god,
All of her
that
sister's
group
friends.
They were horrible.
Oh, they're all
I
bad.
can't go to the gym.
I can't go to the gym. She's like, oh, that's your biggest problem. But she said before that she used to write children's books.
Yeah.
She was a writer.
That's
Oh
incredible.
my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thus justifying your theory
Yeah.
even more.
Yep.
Holy
I told you
crap.
she's gonna blow our brains. She did it. She did her homework on this one.
This is good. You're incredible. Because, like, I would not have thought that deep. I mean, I always understood that, yes, this was a symbolism for her underlying depression.
Depression.
Yeah,
Right?
grief and like for sure.
All that stuff. And yeah, that's cool too. But to actually have this theory where she is actually
Yeah.
the one behind creating
Well,
this
and that's
book.
why she's always tired, even though she sleeps.
Because she's just working hard on that book. Because that book, objectively speaking,
Well crafted.
Well
To
crafted.
make a pop up like that,
dude, it's so hard to make pop-up
and then
books.
she makes some of the figures bleed, and then she does the dog that like the neck snaps and the dog's head falls, and like she does a lot of good stuff in that pop up book.
Yeah.
Very. I mean,
I could have done without the dog. That was,
yeah, the dog death was a little
That
obscene.
was too much. I think we should ban all dog deaths
I
from
agree.
all movies.
Except-
I'm so over it.
Except for John Wick, because that sends him on a path to kill a bunch of
That's the
people, and that
only
one's really
time.
dope. Also, they have to shoot Old Yeller because she has rabies. They have to shoot Old Yeller at the end of the
yeah,
movie.
and that's infectious.
Yeah.
There's okay. Am I making this
There's
up,
a
or
couple
have
good
you
dog
told me
deaths.
about a website where it's called
yeah.
like doesthedogdie.com?
That's exactly the website.
Perfect. I love it.
And
I
they-
didn't know about
Yeah,
that.
and you just plug in a title of a movie and it tells you if a dog dies in it.
Perfect.
Wow.
So this is on that website.
That's the internet being good.
That's where we
Yeah.
need the internet.
Like you know
to
what the
come
like the dark web? That means the antithesis must be like the light web.
the light web, and
And
this is
that's-
part of the light web.
Yep.
So-
Poop.com. Doesthedogdie.com. Yeah. Smile.com.
What's poop.com?
Poop.com is a website where you
oh my god.
It's not part of the light
people
web.
document.
This is not
It
part
is.
of the
It's
This
very
is just the
healthy.
web.
It's
This
happy.
is just the web.
And people document their types of poops. There's different categories. You can see pictures of poop and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into this.
You brought a feet shit the other day.
Yeah,
Don't make me
that's
weird.
true. That's true.
That is true. That's
was
true.
weird.
Yeah,
That was
At least
weird.
mine's scientific.
Mine I got from like other podcasts. Like people talk about it. Okay, people talk
People
about it.
talk about it.
So what happens next with this movie? It starts building up because her lack of sleep and her depression and anxiety gets worse and worse, and the boy sadly is
Don't
framed.
call him the boy.
Don't call him the boy.
Don't
That's what
call-
the mom
God
said.
damn it,
That's
Christian.
right.
Yeah.
Samuel.
Yes,
Samuel.
Oh, you guys are so good.
Because you know who calls him the boy?
The headmaster.
The Babadook does. Bring the boy to me.
Bring the boy to me.
Bring the boy
It was
to me.
good.
Yes. So sadly, of course, the boy.
Samuel.
I'm so sorry.
Just talking about
Samuel, very much like in a lot of horror movies, the kids are always painted in
Screaming.
a corner where no one's going to believe that this supernatural being exists because it's very common for kids at that age to have imaginary friends.
Yeah.
I.e. Malignant, right? Which
Yeah.
is also an incredible movie, in my opinion.
Ooh, I haven't watched that one yet.
Thanks.
Watch that one. It's not crazy scary, but you'll love the twist. But it kind of sucks because, like, yes, this kid's annoying, but he's really just trying to save Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no one's
100%. Like,
But then if we were in the
Yeah,
shoes,
what's your argument?
but if we, okay, I don't really have an argument. I'm just really talking about the movie.
No, he is, and like he's so hell-bent on protecting his mom, he's literally creating weapons.
Yes,
And
dude.
then he's telling his mom, he's like, I'm gonna smash his head in, Mom. He turns into Conor McGregor for a second.
Yes.
see, so like, I think that at the beginning and when he is super annoying and when he is like lashing out and everything, that he is like, the Babadook does scare him, but then, and like, it switches at some point, oh my God, in the movie, like, and then he seems normal. Like, Samuel seems like, he's just trying to like protect, I keep like burping. I keep like, he's like trying to protect his mom. Like,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's
yeah, 'cause
all he wants to do.
Remember they have that scene in the bed where she's like, I'm here to protect you. And he's like, no, well, I'm going to protect you. Mm-hmm. And then that's really when it switches from the rest of the movie. Now she's the one who's scared and he's the one who's like calling Mrs. Roach to like, try and get things figured out. And
Because at first, who's protecting who, right? And that's
is anybody
everyone's just
No.
fucked.
Yeah.
Just fucked, dude.
riddled with grief. Just so wrecked.
What a sad. You're right. This is a very sad movie.
The saddest movie I've ever
But-
seen. It's honestly not even scary.
But the whole premise is it's been 7 years.
6.
It's been, well, he's about to turn 7. So it's almost been 7 years. And then he, like, the mom hasn't, like, accepted help. Like, she hasn't, like, conquered her grief. And that's
Yeah.
the whole thing with it.
Yeah. I think what makes this movie even better is the fact that it is relatable in that sense. Not only is it a metaphor for, like what we said before, the mothers and like dealing with grief and all that stuff, but also that opportunities present themselves. But even in our lowest moments, we still choose our own pride as opposed to just getting help, right?
Yeah.
And that would have helped her out. And obviously later on at the end of the movie, all is well, and it's like a lighter ending in
Well,
comparison
it's not
to
a
other
light
movies.
ending. I mean,
No.
well, yeah, I mean, it's a happy ending.
Yes,
But, I mean,
She's keeping the Babadook as a pet.
that's
well,
crazy.
but
I can't wait to
no,
talk
but
about
it's
that.
because it's not an actual, it's not a thing. It's not a Babadook. It's herself. She's living with her grief.
And
She's
it's
accepted it.
Yeah.
And she's and
Yeah,
she's working on
accepted.
it.
She's working on it, and you know that like it's
This
not
movie's
going to go
called
away.
Therapy.
Like the death of her husband isn't going to like ever make her not sad anymore. But
Probably
she's
not.
she's living with it every day. That's what it is.
I did think watching this movie, especially the second time that I watched it, that this is a great film to show
Oh yeah.
kids in a health class, to show them how difficult life as a single mother would be, and why you should, have safe sex and abstain until you're married.
so this would show up after like, this is how a penis works.
Yeah, this is how babies are made, and this is what can happen. Boom, the
Boom,
Babadook.
the Babadook. Like, I just watched the weirdest thing in sex ed today.
Really? What'd you watch?
There was no sex at all, actually.
No.
Just a straight up horror movie.
But it was about a single mother, and that's what scared me. So I'm getting myself castrated.
It is castrated. She is perfectly casted, and so is the kid. Like their chemistry together as flawed mother and doomed son is really good.
Well, and it all takes place in the house too, which is so depressing.
The way it was shot too, like the colors of how it was shot was
Yeah.
so like
Gray.
monochrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just very bland, and it just definitely set the mood for like the whole movie. Honestly,
Because the mood of this movie was feeling trapped within the place where you're supposed to feel the safest, right? You're supposed to feel the safest at home, and yet she can't. It's daytime, and yet it's so fucking dark at home.
It's so dark. You don't know what time of day it
I was
is.
gonna say,
Yes.
but also on the converse of that, at night, it's pretty bright in there, though. Did you notice that? Like, I couldn't tell the difference between when it was daytime and nighttime for the first couple of scenes because there's just so much light. It was kind of difficult to tell what time it was. So, and they keep making a point to like show the alarm clock when it goes off. And even one time Karen was like, I don't understand. Is it 9 a.m. or p.m.? Because it looks about the same.
Well, that was
honestly.
after they took the sleeping pills because she does go to a doctor and she does.
Oh, because he has a seizure after he
has a
screams at the
seizure.
Babadook in the car.
Oh, that was.
That's after that's after the birthday party. So
Yeah.
after the birthday party where he almost kills his cousin by pushing her out the door because she's being a major bitch.
Yeah.
Yes, not that you should push your bitch cousin.
No, but you should stand up for yourself if someone's saying you don't
Stand
deserve
up
a dad.
for yourself and then force push that bitch out the treehouse.
And then the mean ass sister was like, "Do you want another child to get hurt?" And it's like, no, I don't think anyone else is going up there.
Well, also, the mean ass sister was just like, I think it's better this year if my daughter has her own birthday party and just,
She
tell
wants
your
to-
son to fuck off.
You know how I know that's a lie? You know how I know she's lying to her sister?
How?
Because she tells her sister that she wants a princess-themed birthday party, and there's like a weird clown, and there's like red
Oh,
and
that
yellow
clown
balloons.
was terrifying.
Yeah.
Only the
Oh my
only
God.
the girl is dressed
Scarier
as a
than the
princess.
Babadook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird party. That's one of those parties where at the end I'd be like, that was not fun.
I gotta go take a shower. I'm gonna go home and take a shower.
I did something wrong with throwing this party
Well, you
because
probably
not
shouldn't
everyone
be-
was comfortable.
You shouldn't be going to children's birthday parties alone, sir.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't. I just have a lot of kid cousins, and I can gauge from like family parties what was a good family
That
party and what
wasn't
was just
fun.
like, yeah, family party.
No
And
jumper, no toys.
just a dangerous
Oh,
treehouse.
She got that Barbie. And
That she
then-
already
and
has.
She already has it. So.
Oh, your life so
So she's
hard.
driving home and he's screaming like Samuel is just screaming at the top of his lungs.
It's just yes. Oh, what an incredible scene! One more time. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Honestly, the angle
That's
that you
scary.
got, I'm pretty sure he was leaning to the side of the car like that.
You know he was.
That kid needed something like really scary.
He got it. Whatever those tranquilizers
Because he was
were.
yelling, "Get out! Get out!
So
Get
that,
out!"
so he can see the Babadook then.
Okay,
Yeah,
but wait a
That's
second.
when I think it passes.
But wait a second. Because what I have read is that in some, I don't know the whole thing, but in some way, it could have been the mom, like when like he has that seizure or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the mom like strangling the boy. Like, not the boy. God.
His name is Samuel.
Strangling Samuel.
Yes,
But I don't know. I don't know more about that theory.
that shit's scary.
She does wake up with a knife in her hand a couple of times.
Yeah. And like after
Yeah.
all of this, it's so odd that
The
To
Child
be-
Protective Services let her keep her kid.
Oh my
that
God.
for sure. They
They're like,
like,
we'll be back in a week.
yo, this kid's in
Oh, shit.
danger.
That's right. All this shit happened within the course of a week.
A week.
Also,
Yeah. What does he tell CPS? He's just like, I don't know. I'm just really tired from all the pills mommy gives
All the
me.
drugs.
all
All the drugs
drugs.
mom gives
And she's
me.
like, not drugs, tranquilizers. And they're like, oh, like what you give to a horse? And she's like, no.
Dude.
I'd punch him to death.
It's super suspicious. Like
very
this,
weird.
Then they're like, yeah, well, we'll come back in 7 days.
I'll tell you what is kind of confusing, though. We just watched La Llorona, and that's about a Child Protective Service worker as well. Very different America and England.
Do they
Not England.
rescue the kid way quicker than they do in this one?
Kids don't get rescued in America.
Man, that's
You gotta watch La Llorona.
die.
It's interesting. Yeah, they drown. I don't know, man. I had a tougher time watching dog death than kid death.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's always, sadly, always the
Always.
case.
Yeah.
Honestly, saddest death in any movie I've ever seen. Ready for this?
What?
Marley and Me.
Yeah.
Oh,
So bad.
rough.
Every time a dog dies or is
Bark.
about to die in a movie, Christian looks at me and he's like, looking away, he's just like, tell me what happens. Like, tell me what's done. And I have to suffer through it.
I get
watching the
mad.
dog die.
I get mad at the TV.
You get mad because she doesn't want to look either, so she doesn't have the words to tell
It's
you
like,
what's
someone
happening.
tell me what happened.
I didn't look, but I need to know what happened.
Every time it's a stressful fucking movie and you see like, oh, and here's our new beagle. Like, oh, he's dead. For sure, this dog is dead. And this is a cute ass like Maltese that they got up in this thing.
He reminded me of some of your dogs from back in the day when they were
Yes,
skinny.
yes, skinnier Rosie is what he reminded me of. And like this dog was just doing his due diligence. Like, let me scream at this bitch real quick because that bitch is the Babadook.
Well, and also,
yeah.
we were saying that the dog is her only happiness.
It was when that's the only time you see her smile, like at the beginning, is when they're coming home and the dog comes out and she's so happy to see the dog and the dog is happy to see her.
Runs right past the kid.
And that was before they read the book.
Yeah.
And so after they read the book and after
Dog
she
barks at
was
her
like
and shit.
infected by the Babadook, the dog barked at her the entire time and didn't want to be around her.
Yeah, dude. She pulled
Well,
the.
you're right. You're right. The dog did deserve to die then.
No.
Oh, what?
No.
Oh, sorry. I
I'm
thought that's what you were
that
saying.
You can, no, that you can see like the switch.
Yes.
My mistake, sorry.
I mean, I think dogs, as sad as it is, their presence in horror movies is very, very stressful. They are a good device in horror films because they've always been known, just like cats, to understand, to have an extra sense of the supernatural, right? To be able to see things that the human eye can't. And so that was that gauge, right? And also with the kid too, right?
Yeah.
They're both symbols of innocence. And it's just so upsetting that she straight up pulled a Lenny.
Lenny Bruce? She told comedy and did a bunch of heroin? No, she does hug that dog to death. Which honestly, it's not a bad way to go, being hugged to death.
Melissa, what part of the movie did you fall asleep through? Oh, what
I
part?
don't even know. I was asleep.
So we all sat down and we said play.
And then she knocked the
Was
fuck
that the
out.
dog?
I don't know.
Stop. That's so depressing.
Oh, don't do that.
The dog helps later on. Karen, will you explain to them what the dog means in the worms?
Oh, okay. So, I read this thing because we were trying to figure out what the worms are. Because at the end, like, they're all happy and, you know,
After they've conquered the Babadook.
after they conquer the Babadook, because she's like, I love my son. Like, I'm not going to let anything hurt my son.
This is my house.
This is my
Get
house.
the fuck
and so
out.
that's her,
Yes.
like, coming to life of, like,
Addressing her grief.
addressing
and
her grief, because that's the whole thing. That's what the Babadook is grief, and
Head
not addressing your grief and like burying it down. And the more you bury it, the more it builds, and the more it builds, like
Just keep
the
it in a
more
basement.
it's gonna come back at you, like at the end, like. And then you jump out a window, or you know,
Wrong movie. You're thinking of something else.
I am. I'm thinking of Annabelle. But then, so after the dog dies and the Babadook, and so like when the Babadook goes up and like goes over her, like in the book, in the little picture book, like she says no, like, you know, I'm gonna protect my son, I'm gonna live my life, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and the Babadook backs down. And then it just cuts to like a really happy moment, and you don't really know what happens,
Yeah,
which
it's a
really
little
bothered
ambiguous.
me because I was like, okay, what happened? Did she go to therapy? Like, is she taking her
No way.
medicine?
No, she didn't.
Like,
No, she did not.
I think that her meds. I think that the whole thing is that she stopped taking her medicine, and then that's why her multiple personality disorder came back. And so, like, the boy,
His name is
my
Samuel.
God.
Dude, we're going to get fucked because we're all calling Samuel the boy.
Samuel.
First now.
The boy.
Samuel says over and over, like, I don't want you to leave me.
Yeah, don't go.
No, he's like, I don't want you to leave me. I don't want you to leave me. And everyone thinks that it's like, I don't want you to die like my dad died. But it's, I don't want you to leave me because this is the mom that I like. Like, I want this personality of my mom. I don't want,
Once she switches.
I don't want the Babadook version.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why he says it over and over and over. Like, you know.
I think that's a good analysis, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but then at the end with the worms, if you cut back and you watch, like at the beginning, you can see like dog remains like in the soil,
Okay.
like where they're like digging, where they're digging up the worms and stuff. And they put them in the bowl, and then they try to go over, or they go over, and the boy is, oh my God.
What?
Samuel.
Keep saying the boy.
Samuel says, like, I want to, like, when can I go down there? And he's like, she says, when you're older. Yeah. And it's because, like, he's too young to, like, address any of this grief now. Like, you know, maybe one day, like, he'll realize, like, oh, my dad died, and he can address that later. But right now, like, he's too young to,
But he knows that the dad died, and he knows
yeah,
how
he
the dad
does.
Yeah, he
died.
talks about it in the store.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
My
like,
dad's in the cemetery.
but he can't. He doesn't understand what that means yet, you know. And so the mom goes down there and feeds the worms to the Babadook, which is
Her.
what?
Isn't
Which
she
is
the
her.
Babadook?
Yeah,
So she's,
which is
she's
her.
a piece of her.
So
She's
she
eating the worms.
is eating the worm. That's what another thing that I read is that she still has her multiple personality disorder, and so she still is crazy and manic, but she's just learning how to deal with it. And so she does go down there, and that's her space to like
eat worms.
But then the other one is that's like that's where her husband like played the violin. That's where all of his stuff is, and so that's like her space to like go and be
Eat
sad.
worms and think about them and play with that weird phone-shaped vibrator again. And
Was it a phone shape?
it was a
It looked like a
weird-shaped
phone.
vibrator that she had.
I don't know. I'm a
Looks like
guy.
a phone.
It's beautiful because it's saying that you can never get rid of trauma, right?
Yeah.
Trauma will always be there. It'll always be a part of you, and all you can do is push it down and down and down. And I think her feeding it is her acknowledging it. Don't forget
exactly.
it. But you have to acknowledge
that's what it
because
is. You threw me off with the other thing that you said, but you need to acknowledge it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to feed yourself.
Maintenance. It's like having a cat.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Trauma similar to a cat.
So, yeah, no, definitely.
It will always be there, but you can leave it alone and it'll be fine.
But I thought it was really scary too.
Again, I
You
don't.
didn't think it was that
I don't
scary?
think. I think there are scary parts for sure, but I think as a whole, this movie is just extremely sad.
I
is
think
sad.
this is the most scary movie that we've watched.
No.
This movie scares me way more than The Conjuring and Annabelle and all of those movies combined.
Wow.
Combined, well,
Combined.
I
Watch them all at
think
once.
like all the like how the Babadook's voice like turned into her voice at one point.
Yes.
That scared the shit out of me. I don't like voices, so
or how the Babadook like turns into her to Oscar.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
yeah.
She's like, oh, don't. She hugs the Babadook at one
Yeah.
point because she thinks it's Oscar.
Oscar's like, bring me the boy.
Like these are good horror tropes, you know, the illusion of being a loved one, but in reality it's like the monster. That's always a good horror device in my mind, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why zombie movies do so in my opinion are terrifying, because to see a loved one that's a zombie, it's still your loved one. That's like the same thing in my perspective of the Babadook creating this facade of like, hey, I'm your late husband, or like, hey, I am your mother. That's the scary part.
I do also like that the Babadook, fucks with you a little bit too. Like when she was running around, he just like dropped his top hat down the chimney.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to scare you, but, I'm going to have some fun with it too, before this is all done. Mm-hmm.
Well,
my kicks
trickery.
too.
And going back to like her writing the book, I just thought about this. So like, because her husband was a cop, right? And so when she goes to the police station, because she goes and tries to get help, and there's the hat and the coat that's like on the coat rack. Do you think that has anything to do with like her writing the book?
Like
I don't know. I
inspiration?
think hats and coat racks are very prominent in this film, but
Yeah, but it has like gloves.
I didn't know
and
the
shit,
dad.
too.
I didn't know the dad was a cop. I thought
Yeah.
the dad was a cop in La Llorona.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So not in this movie,
No,
right?
no.
I was trying to remember.
See, this is why she's trying to get me to watch other shit before we get here. I was like, I can't. I have to have this movie in my brain.
Well, this is the issue of us watching watching a movie for the podcast like 7 days before. 7 days. 7 days. Wrong movie.
Well, and also when we watched that movie, we were all pretty intoxicated at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
So
Melissa was knocked out.
Wrong movie.
And when no one said anything,
You knew exactly what had
So
happened.
insecure.
I've never heard you
So
do anything like that. Oh my goodness. Do you have a BPOS?
it's going to go to Noah Wiseman, who is the actor that played Samuel.
Tomorrow.
Samuel. Wrong.
We gotta get a shirt with that says that.
Wrong movie.
Okay, how about you?
Ladies, do you have a best person on set award? Bipasa?
The
Mine-
dog.
Oh, I was just about to say that.
The
I'm
dog.
like, can it be the dog?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you want me to look up what the dog's name was?
Yes.
Who's Fluffy?
Not the dog. It's Babadook.
Dog name in
Babadook. Mine's the director and writer, Jennifer Kent.
That's
It's
a
her
good one.
directorial debut. Took $2 million, turned it into 10, and made a movie that scares Karen to this day.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. I've seen this movie like 10 times.
That's too many.
And so I don't know why it scares me so much more now than it did before.
Because you're addressing your mental health now.
Because I'm addressing my mental health now.
Yeah.
And I really think that that's what it is.
Again, movie should be shown in health class.
Well, and another thing is that it really shows like what like single moms or moms, like stay-at-home moms go through. And I have a lot of mom friends that, you know, they struggle, especially with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
They struggle with, you know, just someone being on top of you all the time and, you know, always needing something from you and being like the mom thing all the time. And so I think that that's what scares me so much is that this is so much more realistic. I thought you were playing with Christian's feet. This is so much more realistic than The Conjuring. Like,
Yeah, well.
100%.
Even though The Conjuring is supposedly based on true events.
Yeah.
It's all a movie to me.
But
Spooky season.
It's almost over.
not quite yet. We're only halfway through, my friend. I found out the name of the dog. Hachi is the name of the dog.
Hachi.
Hachi the dog.
It's a horrible name for a dog.
Hachi? Hachi's cute. I'm going to rate this movie a solid 4 out of 5. How about you?
3.75.
Interesting. Ladies?
4.5.
4.5 out of 5. Nice.
Really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's
I would
really
also
good.
say 4
A 4 out of 5?
5.
Now, what could make it a 5 out of 5 in your guys' opinion?
Boobs.
It could have had a little
Let me
bit
see
more
them titties.
jump scares.
Yeah, I guess because this perfected the creepy factor, right? The
Yeah.
overlying horror that doesn't require jump scare. Now, if it did have the jump scares, I think it would have been a perfect product.
Yeah.
Well, but it did
It had
have
a couple.
some
Yeah,
jump scares. I
those are the-
screamed at least 3 times.
Yeah, those are the parts that are scary of the film. Like I said, there are scary portions of this film, but on the whole, I think it's a sad movie.
Yeah, no, definitely pulls on the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Also, we had a weird question about the television that she owns. Does it only show things from 1970?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was weird.
She doesn't have any like modern channels.
Right.
Oh yeah,
No
it was
news
all
channels,
weird.
no- it was all-
But then it was weird because there was like the guy with the hat. The Babadook was like in the TV too.
What?
Maybe she was.
Oh yeah,
controlling
she
it
watches that
with-
video.
Yeah.
She watches like that movie of like the old circus, and the Babadook was like in the
Holy
circus
crap!
and shit.
I don't know. Maybe this is like some sort of like alternate universe where like everything seems modern, but the technology's like a
Or
little.
maybe she's stuck in the past.
Maybe she's just in Australia
Oh.
because she
Yeah.
can't move
Yes.
forward.
Yeah, and so
Oh my God. But her wake, like when they woke up, when she opened her eyes and the kid, oh my God, Samuel
Well, the
was
kid's-
on the
you can call him
couch.
the kid.
yeah.
The kid. When he was like on the couch, stabbed with blood all over him, that was terrifying.
Oh, that was
that
scary.
was so scary.
Because we see that kind of horror device used in Annabelle, where the mom just obliterates the doll,
Yeah.
and then it turns into the baby,
Ugh.
right? In this sense, she just wakes up from a dream of I
She's
don't
not
know.
even. She just watches TV and then she like looks over at the kid to look at him, and he's just like, oh.
I'm dead.
I tell you, if my children sleepwalk, we're gonna have a real problem. Because I've seen way too many horror movies.
Kick the shit out of a kid that's
Oh
sleepwalking.
my God.
You're not my mother. I said that to my mom once when I was sleepwalking.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
man, you were the Babadook at one point.
We're gonna hear that for the next week.
Any last words before we?
You gonna kill us?
Any last words? Well, okay, yeah. Any final words? Any final words? Any? What else? Anything else?
Wrong movie. I've actually had a lot of fun with this movie. I've been actually having a lot more fun with these horror films this month than I thought I was going to.
And that's Karen you have to thank for.
Well, you know, I was going to thank the baddies, but Karen counts as that.
No, definitely a big portion of it. She's primed you for horror movies in the future and in general.
She's for sure forced me to watch them.
I want to say forced. You sat down and you've enjoyed it to a certain degree. Otherwise, I think you would have just left.
You really liked the Annabelle movie the other night.
Annabelle Creation? Which one?
Was it Creation? Yeah, the
Creations
Creation.
was really interesting with the girl since because the girls in the orphanage and shit and but I also in La Llorona I thought was really funny because they bring in this like Mexican priest who sucks and he's
So
like the
bad.
worst priest ever and then he gets shot
Why is he
and
bad?
then the last thing we see of him is him getting in a taxi, not an ambulance.
When he gets shot?
Yeah, he like just takes a taxi.
Taxi.
Yeah, and it's like what he should be getting in an ambulance. He got shot.
Well, just like the mom in the Babadook, she got stabbed in the leg.
No, but she got the stitches removed before CBS got there.
Yes.
Ah. When did she get stabbed? Wait,
No,
who
the
stabbed her?
kid
in the leg?
stabbed her.
The
And it looks
Samuel
like
stabs
Samuel
her.
stabs her like in the gut.
No, stabs her right here.
No, because when they show the back of it come out of her back,
I thought it was a leg too.
I thought it was the leg.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
it
watched
was
the
right
thing.
in between her eyes.
I watched the thing, and they had like the meat and everything, and they stabbed the meat. It was like a big piece of meat that he stabbed.
Oh, is
Oh,
it
to
behind the
film.
scenes?
Okay,
yeah, behind
yes.
the scenes. Yeah.
Oh,
I thought these
interesting.
people were testing it just to see, like, this knife is a similar knife to what they have.
This is a butcher's knife, and we're going to use it for butcher.
See, doesn't do for butchering. Do you know what a butcher does?
He butchers, man.
Slaughters meat. Butchers.
I'm just impressed by how they did bring back all the kids' little fancy toys later on. That he did use the catapult.
yeah.
He did use the crossbow at one point. The traps that he set in the basement, he did use. And so nice, because there's a lot of horror movies where the continuity sucks and they
means
just
nothing.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, you set that up for nothing. So
Look at my hands. Look at
Oh
my
my
hands.
God.
I love him doing the magic tricks.
I was like, is this what you did as a child?
No, my parents wouldn't put up with that shit.
What he got? He was so sweet though. He brought out like a bouquet for her and whatnot. Did he have a dove at some point?
Yeah, so that's actually really upsetting to me. She doesn't know that her son is in ownership of a dove, a
Yes.
living bird. Where the fuck did he get that bird from?
No clue. I don't know. I don't.
Time has passed. They had been in therapy. and
Where did he
everything.
get a bird? So the therapist got him the bird.
Probably.
Where does he get this bird from? You know how expensive a dove is?
He's just
Very
whistling
expensive.
outside. He's just
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Like
yes.
how much?
Triple digits.
okay. I'm looking it up.
Really?
Yeah.
For a white dove.
I don't know what other color doves come in, but sure.
That's true.
How much is a dove? In most jurisdictions, anyone can walk into a pet store, buy some white ring-necked doves for about $25 each. The kid can get 25 Australian dollars. Pretty
But in
easy.
Australia,
These are
that's
three
$100.
digits. Okay, US dollar to Australian dollar.
Oh my god.
25 American dollars to 25 kangaroo bucks. What we got?
Okay, 1.35 Australian dollars to a US dollar. So it's a little. Do
So it's $27 for a dove.
you want me to do the math?
No, I know, no.
It's like almost double.
Oh,
Okay.
goodness gracious. Great
Ladies,
balls of fire. Thank
anything
you.
else?
I hope you guys enjoyed your double date.
Yes.
Thank you for
Yeah.
Thank you.
the
You're
date.
welcome. This is nice. We don't do this very often.
No, not at all.
Someone let Karen out of her cage tonight.
What?
Tried to roll my R's.
you
Let's
not
forget
roll your
about
R's?
that.
I can't roll my
I
R's
also
either. That's
can't.
why I can't say.
Okay, this is how we'll
Well,
end it.
you're
We're all
right
gonna
now.
roll our R's.
I
We're all
no-
gonna say
no
I
idea.
can like gargle.
Randolph Rubio Raleigh. Randolph Rubio Raleigh.
Go ahead.
gargling.
You sound like Chewbacca.
You're taking mouthwash.
That was good. No, that's why I can't
How
say
do
La
you roll your eyes?
La Llorona.
La Llorona.
You
No, I
can't say my
can't.
name either.
Llorona.
Alejandro.
Alejandro.
I call you Alejandro all the time.
Yeah, well,
Alejandro.
that's not how
Alejandro.
you say it.
Alejandro.
Well, baddies, you know where to follow us. You can follow me at call_me_Jesus.
Follow me at Christian Azazma.
Follow the podcast at ICBTB
Podcast.
Podcasts. Ladies,
You want my handle? Shit.
I mean, do you want to
Just
put it out
kidding.
there?
Lil Milk Tea.
Yeah,
And my pug's Instagram is Pogi the Puggy.
Yeah,
that's the one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
that's a good one.
Mama K.
Mama K.
Does Maddie have an Instagram?
No, she doesn't.
You should make one.
I
She
know.
should.
We should.
Dog Instas is our thing.
Do you
as
know
long
how
as they're
many times
consistent.
today I heard, oh my God, Karen, look at Maddie. Look at Maddie.
I say that a lot.
She's a
So
model.
cute.
All right, we're gonna go and I need to go see Maddie now.
All right, y'all. Take it
Bye.
easy. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Can't be that bad, oh, it 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 can't be that bad.